All right, a big day, of course, on Saturday. It's the Coolmore Classic Day at Rosehill Gardens. Big day at Flemington and also in Queensland. Chris Waller joins us. Hello, Chris. Well, let's start with the feature race sitting the Coolmore Classic. Egg Tart, outstanding run the other day.
Good first up run, come on nicely since that, and I think the 1500 metre will suit her better. They've had a bit of rain at Rosehill the last week, it'll suit her. She had 3 wins on heavy tracks, I think 3 wins on good tracks, but they've been good 4s or thereabouts. So I just think she found those really quick tracks in the spring a bit too firm and probably lost a bit of the punter's interest, but don't lose interest on Saturday. It's the right race for her. She's ready to go.
Yeah, she was super first up.
Good run first up.
What about, we'll go straight, we'll get through the races. The first race, Quick Defence, Sizzling Bullet.
Thank you, correct weight.
Quick Defence, Sizzling Bullet, Zookan and Multifacets.
There'll be a gallop coming up shortly with Saracen, who'll work over 2,000 metres.
Zookan, we're freshening him up. He had a trial last week. Impressive trial, actually. He'll run well fresh. Multifacets, he's a consistent runner without sort of threatening the winners, so he's at least in the right race on Saturday with a reasonable weight. Sizzling Bullet, he's had 4 weeks between runs. We gave him a jump out Tuesday just to keep his fitness levels up. He'll appreciate a soft track. And Quick Defence, he's won his last 2. We decided to keep Tim Clark on.
Hard to knock him.
Yeah. Look, he is getting right up in the weights, and I'd like to see the track dry out a little bit for him. But look, it's a competitive race. We've got 4 chances, probably slightly leaning towards Zorkan the way trialled.
Now listen, the Sky High, it's a winnable race here. Who shot the barman? Libran and McIntosh?
Yeah, well, Libran won a similar race in the spring, second up over 2,000. We've followed a similar path with his training, so he's probably the one to beat. Who shot the barman in his earlier days would have been really sharp over 2,000. He's lost a little bit of that dash, but he's certainly on track for the BMW and Sydney Cup. Not saying he can't win, but off his last prep, you'd say he needs a bit further. McIntosh, it's a bit of a throw up the stumps, 1,300 up to 2,000, but he has won over these trips as a 3-year-old, and he had a good solid grounding prior to that first up run. So, yeah, I'd say slightly leaning towards Libran.
What about the Pago Zustain, winner on debut? Surprise in front the other day. What are you going to do with him?
Just jumped so well and just got left there, and no one wanted to lead. There was changes galore pre-race that everyone had different tactics, and it just left us stuck. So awkward gate on Saturday, and you could see him jumping well again from barrier 10. So our instructions will be to find cover, providing circumstances permit. So that's the plan. He's a good horse. He's only beaten half a length.
Is he a fluker's hope 7 days later?
Well, he'd have to win on Saturday first and foremost. So he's got the draw to contend with in a pretty sharp field, and of course the Blue Diamond winners in there as well.
What about a bookie's favourite? New Universe goes around the Morris McCartan.
Yeah, he's also in at Kembla on Friday, but he's likely to race on Saturday. He's drawn barrier 1. His run the other day wasn't too bad, but he's not that well suited at the weights in this race. Neither are a lot of the horses in there. So obviously Dothraki's compressed the weight, so he'll run there, but we're sort of still learning about him over these shorter distances.
What about the Far Lap? Interesting race, because you've got 3 horses that I know are better, handy horses. Calculated first up?
Yep, 1,500, so we need to make sure he settles. Craig Williams rides, he's got a good draw. Obviously his form out of the Magic Millions at the Gold Coast was pretty good. So he'll run well.
Perrette, when he won on debut, I had him up here. I've come back down to here. Can he go back up?
Well, it's a nice race for him Saturday, home track, right distance. He's had a trip to Melbourne as well where things didn't really work out. He needs to show himself to everybody, so he's got the ability. He's gone missing this preparation. Let's hope he can get it back Saturday.
Unforgotten?
She has to trial tomorrow, then Thursday, 2 days before. So originally the trials was Tuesday, they were postponed. So it's doubtful she'll run. We might run her at Gosford next week and try and join up in either the Vinery or the Adrian Knox on the way to the Oaks, but it's a big ask.
What about the Ajax? Here we are. Tommy Melbourne. I'm keeping faith. I'm tipping this bloke can go bang this prep.
So am I. He's been a good horse, and I think, yeah, the chatter he creates on social media I think is good, and we don't see it as offensive at all. We love it, and I think most of the people sledging and do as well. So look, he's come back well. Glenn Schofield suggested that we run him in the Canterbury Stakes first up,
Did he not have a ride?
Yeah. I said, look, Glenn, we gave it plenty of thought. We decided to run him in the Ajax as per our original plan. He said, we've got another ride in the Ajax. So full credit to Glenn, and obviously he was taken by his trial, and he's come back really well. And it's a nice race for him, fresh, and he's drawn well, which I think is a big plus. Hopefully he'll just get a bit of cover in the speed range.
Coming through was super.
Yeah,
First
he
up.
was. His sectionals would have been good coming from well back, and he's trained on well. We've kept him fresh. He had an exhibition gallop on Saturday just to make sure we kept him up to the mark without flattening him, so he should run well, and hopefully onto the Doncaster with him.
McCreary?
Good run also. Was out at Egg Tarts race first up. He hit line well after showing nothing in his trials. He'll appreciate a bit of giving the track. So there's a few things you could point in his direction to suggest he'll improve sharply. He's got barrier 10, I think, but Craig Williams rides.
Hard to knock Sullivan 3 in a row and 4 of his last 5, I think, but this is a tougher race.
Yeah, much tougher race. He sits in well at the limit weight. Brenton Abdallah rides. He's drawn well. He'll get a lovely run. So it'd be nice to see if he could make it another win. He's had a terrific preparation.
Life Less Ordinary didn't go to Newcastle last week. Where's it sit?
Life Less Ordinary. He's a good fresh horse. Obviously, his better races have been when. Well, his fresh races previously have been when takes on Group 2 horses. We identified last preparation, keep him fresh and not race him over too long distances. He starts the preparation suggesting he's going to run in the Caulfield Cup. That hasn't worked out and far from it, in fact. So keep him fresh, and Saturday is that.
What about the last race? Jaminza, wide barrier. First up run was good.
Yeah, it was good. He's still carrying quite a bit of extra weight. He's probably 10 kilos heavier than where he needs to be in his best form, unless he's got bigger and stronger, and it's got an awkward gait. We've decided to keep Stephen Baster aboard because he did win 2 races on him in Melbourne. Logically, it seemed the right thing to do. So I think he'll run well, and he doesn't mind a bit of room, so don't be too put off by the barrier draw, but I think he's building towards a good preparation.
Up and Rolling was outstanding first up.
Yeah, he was. Beaten narrowly.
Lofty's menu kick back. And
yeah, fit a horse on the day, just first up from the wide gate. Unfortunately, he's got a wide gate again Saturday. I don't think a soft track will worry him. And he's obviously come back in good form.
What about Wanka? Sorry, Wayanka.
Wayanka,
Sorry, I'm just looking at you.
He's a bit like Jaminza. He's probably still a run or two away. He hasn't had the fresh up run like Jaminza. So hopefully Wayanka can run well, but I think in a few starts' time you'll be expecting more.
What about this former Kiwi horse, Eagle Bay? A lot of interest with him.
Yeah, he's won 3 races this preparation in New Zealand, all on a big track, probably the equivalent to Flemington. It's Trentham, but it's the opposite way to Flemington. I really think he's a mile, probably a 2,000 metre horse in Australia, so it's a starting point, and hopefully we'll see an eye-catching run. Not saying he can't win.
That's Saracen.
He
used to have it.
The Sydney Cup and also the Queen Elizabeth.
Did it bleed?
Yeah, he bled.
And really stretching out there, giving a few reminders as well over the
He won easy.
He did. So we'll see how he runs on Saturday.
What's the best of Wallers at Rosehill? The Tart?
Probably.
Probably?
Yeah.
Good luck.